best donors I've ever seen were like, I'm refused college. So it's, that's definitely something I see a lot of people that come up and they really are stressing about the education and the way you bring your child up and the way that you raise your child and set them up for future education is going to determine a lot more than what the egg donor did.
I could say too that just from my perspective, I mean, my initial answer to that is, oh my God, there was nothing. And I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure there were things that I stressed over when I made this decision that I thought, oh, this is going to be so important to me. And I'm just not remembering those now. And I think, to me, that's indicative of the fact that those little pieces that become non-important, they fall by the wayside. Because to me, the things that were important that I really wanted to come to the forefront of this experience, we helped to check all those boxes, and we helped, it was important to me to be close with the intended parents. And so that's something that really focused on building. And it was important to me that my support network, my family and friends, and my agency were a part of my story. And so that's a box for me that's checked. And all of the things that were important, I feel like, were what the work went into, us helping to build. But the non-important things, the things that maybe at the beginning were important and now weren't, those are, to me, not even a part of the story anymore, because everything else just becomes such an amazing part of the story that you forget about all the other parts.
I would agree. The birth. Don't plan for it. It's just going to happen. You can have the best birth story, and I tried explaining that to my second set of IPs. They were very meticulous, and they wanted everything in writing, and I said, okay, that's sure. Well, I'll do that. I'll write it all out for you. I had a plan for the first one, and it worked. He was born on his due date. I did it the way I wanted to do it. It went great, but it's not always going to happen like that. So my first IPs got a great birth story. My second IPs didn't make the birth. I went early. The twins were born healthy and perfect and beautiful, but they missed it. So regardless of that birth plan, didn't change the outcome. So to stress over that, to spend hours and hours and hours writing it out, rewriting it and highlighting, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just enjoy it. Wait for the call and enjoy it. Go for the ride.
And the real prize is the baby, right? At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I think not. If you're whether you can be there or not, you get to go home with that baby.
And there was plenty of videos and pictures for them, so they have those. So.
Our surrogate's husband was extremely supportive of her doing this. He was always there for every little thing, and we would have tons of Skype dates with them, talking to them all the time about what was going on in their life, what was going on in our life, how the pregnancy was going, and everything. But our surrogate's husband, that was one of the things when we got the first profile from the surrogate, the one we didn't use. She didn't have, from what we read on the paper, what we thought was a support network. She was a single mother, and it just didn't feel right, because we knew that this was going to be a stressful journey, so they needed that support network. But our surrogate that delivered our son had that with her husband, and she had 2 little kids too, and a bunch of friends that helped her out.
Yeah, and for ours, from the first time we met with our surrogate, it was with her and her husband. So throughout the entire process, he was always there. Every time we spent time in Colorado, it was always with her, her husband, her 2 kids. We try to talk sports as much as we can, but we're not that great at it. But no, we got along with them really well. And yeah, it's a relationship that continues on. And I think once again, just to reiterate, I think the fact that the whole family was bought into it was really her support network, that she ensured that her family was really excited about this opportunity, even talking to her 2 younger children just about the concept, which was very new to them. And yeah, just kind of the story that was spoken to before, where out at the grocery store, and the son talking to just a random person, be like, yeah, my mommy's pregnant, but with Bart and Dave's child, and he's like, oh, tell me more about that. So yeah, just having the whole family kind of bought in and really excited about it was the support network that she had.
I wonder, for both of you guys, why did you pick a gay couple?
I think that it was not necessarily something I always knew. It was something that I knew I was, excited about and open to. And then I think it just became this very wonderful thing for myself, of course, but for my children, and then also for my extended support network, for, friends and family. But I'm very fortunate to have a support network that is, loving and supportive and just so open to bolstering more love in the world. For us, it just felt like second nature. It felt so natural to help out with this process. So I don't know that I answered that too concisely.
Did you come into this knowing you were going to work with like a gay couple when you first thought about surrogacy?
That was something that I came into as I was kind of going through the process of working through my own understanding of what it meant to be a surrogate. And I looked at it and I said, you have these two very different situations. I could be a surrogate for, a man and a woman who have been trying and wanting a baby, but also I could work with two men who are, and that's what I ended up doing. And it was wonderful. When I went to my agency and started working with them, I said, I think for this first journey, I do want to work with two men. And I said, it's, this very different situation where I think, I'm trying to stumble over the wording and think of the right way to say that.
I think I know what you're getting at.
Sorry?
I think I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, that I was eager to work with this sort of traditional setup with two people who were excited to start their family, and that the feelings toward the surrogacy were so positive, and that I could be a very positive force for them in their lives. So yeah, that is something that I knew pretty early on in the process, that I did want to work with a gay couple. It was not something that I knew in the beginning, though, because in the beginning, to me, I think I was still working through my own understanding of how I wanted to help. I knew that I wanted to be a part of this. I knew that I wanted to help, but how would that look? So that, for me, was something that came sort of midway in my own process, I would say, after I'd already applied and then was working through what specifically the journey would look like.
For myself, you get this profile, and you have to fill it out about yourself, and you have to put all these little characteristics, and I thought, I'm just going to have a baby for somebody, right? But then it asks that question, who do you want to carry for? And I checked every single box, because I thought, someone hopefully will want me, because I didn't want to narrow down the field to just one specific group of people. And so the agency that I had worked with had more gay couples than traditional couples. So it just sort of naturally happened the first time that way. And when I got the first match, it wasn't like, okay, brace yourself. It was just natural. It was, this is what we have. And I was kind of excited. I didn't have any gay friends personally, and I thought, this is my chance to have a husband. That's this is my chance. And so that was my first yes. My brother-in-law is gay, and so we are open to it. We are loving to everybody, but it was kind of neat just to kind of experience somebody else's relationship, and they're exactly the same, whether it's a man and man or man and woman. Whoever you help, the relationship is still the same.